안녕하세요. 쇼킹TV에 오신 여러분을 환영합니다. 저는 톰슨입니다. 이번엔 사건 발생 직전부터 재판이 끝날 때까지 모두가 예상할 수 없었던 매우 기묘한 사건 이야기를 함께 보고자 합니다. 2023년 당시 플로리다의 폴크 카운티에 살고 있던 어머니인 38세의 캐서린 그리피스와 그녀의 아들인 16세의 콜린 그리피스는 둘이서 행복한 삶을 지내고 있었습니다. 아직 어린 콜린에겐 비록 아버지가 없는 삶이었지만 학업도 열심히, 알바도 열심히 하며 아들로서 꽤 모범적인 모습을 보이고 있었죠. 그리고 2023년 11월 13일 월요일, 한 작은 사건이 벌어지면서 이 행복해 보였던 모녀의 불행한 진실이 서서히 드러나기 시작했습니다.
Okay. Without my glasses, I don't know where they went. Hi. Hello. Who's who? I'm Deputy Jankowski.
이건 당시 신고 전화를 받고 캐서린과 콜린이 살고 있는 집으로 출동한 경관이 찍은 바디캠 영상입니다. 캐서린이 아들인 콜린이 폭행했다고 신고한 것이었죠. 그리고 경관은 먼저 콜린에게 어떤 상황이냐고 묻습니다.
I got off the phone with Rentis. We sat down and we ate, and she started talking to me about how a bunch of really bad shit. And then when I got up and was like, you can't just do that, and she was telling me to shut up, she hit me in the face, and then I reacted like this. She grabbed onto me, I hit her in the stomach, and then I'm a wrestler. It was just reactive. Grabbed her, she got to the ground, I grabbed the phone, I started recording on her left. Okay, that's it.
So she hit you in the face?
Yeah.
But we've been through this. You called Rentis because you know you kind of messed up, right?
No, it's because I didn't know who else to call, and I knew that, and I wanted to make sure he knew first off. Okay.
경관들은 콜린에게 수갑을 채우고 순찰차 뒤에 태운 다음 그의 어머니 캐시와 대화했습니다.
It's Catherine A. Griffith, right? And then 9485.
Yes.
Okay. So I heard EMS is coming to check out your hand. Okay.
And
let me.
right here because he kicked me.
Okay. Hey, can I see your hand? Okay.
He kicked the phone out of my hand as I was trying to record it. I was on the ground.
그 후 의료진은 캐시 그리피스의 부상을 확인했습니다.
It hurts. I mean, you can see how swollen my knuckles are. It's okay. He literally stomped on my hand to get the phone out of my hand.
Can you see the inside of your hand? All right. Do you have any pain to your wrist at all, or is it just right here in the top of your hand?
No, it's
all
from,
of this.
Yeah, from here till about here.
Okay. When did that happen?
When he attacked me.
Was that like a couple minutes ago? An hour ago?
In the past 20-30 minutes. And then he kicked me here. I have some redness.
이후 콜린은 폴크 카운티에 있는 외할머니와 함께 지냈습니다. 아무래도 원만하게 잘 지낼 수 없는 엄마인 캐서린과 문제를 일으키기 싫어서였죠.
Colin did not want to come back home.
Okay.
And I said, you don't have a choice. You have to go back home. And he said, no, I want foster care. And even the corporal was saying, foster care isn't going to be good for you. You don't have issues. You have to work on them. And so we agreed. I talked to him all the way. Oh, my car doors. Oh.
할머니의 말에 따르면 콜린은 정신건강 문제가 있었습니다. 치료를 받고 있었고 그에 따른 계획도 있었습니다. 그리고 여러 법 집행기관과도 크고 작은 문제들로 일을 처리하고 있는 중이었습니다.
We talked all the way down, and I said, you have got to learn to get your anger under control. You want to be a Marine. People are going to get it. I'm retired from the service. I said,
so am I.
Very good. So I said, people are going to get in your face, and you're going to have to learn to deal with that. You just ignore it.
Right.
And I said, the other thing too is you don't ever hit anybody. You don't even touch somebody, and especially somebody as small as Kathy. That is just something that you cannot ever do. I said that needs to be. He goes, no, but I said there are no buts. That's all there is.
콜린의 외할머니는 콜린이 엄마를 폭행하게 된 계기를 설명합니다.
So we got here. And Princess had agreed. She's going to lay the law down. Know that she is the parent. She is doing what she thinks is best for him. That he's not going to have his cellular phone. He's not going to have access because he's like talking to some person on online that we don't even know who this person is.
Okay.
And that she said, I don't want you ever calling me a psychopathic narcissist anymore. I said, and he goes, no, I didn't. He goes, no, I heard you say that. So
Okay.
He just, he had said that in the past. And she said, let me lay this out for you. Because the only thing I think you really care about is money. So anytime there's an infraction, I'm going to take that from you. And it'll add up. So you have got to fly right. Because otherwise, if not, and then he was doing something with his eyes.
콜린의 외할머니는 왜 콜린이 엄마를 공격했다고 생각하는 건지 설명하기 시작합니다.
I think he wanted the phone. And that's all he was concerned about, was getting
His phone back.
His phone.
So was he upset about getting his phone back or upset about not going on the cruise and going to get evaluated?
I think both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah.
And was she trying to record him with his own phone? Or
Two phones were involved.
There was two phones.
So there was his and hers? Okay.
So she, just to kind of clarify, he's like, let's just do it. Got her phone to start recording. You said next thing you know, they're on the ground. Did you see how they got on the ground?
No.
Okay.
No. I just, because I was trying to call also.
Okay.
So, but I was very worried she was on the ground, and I went in between them.
경찰은 콜린을 구금시키기로 결정하였습니다. 하지만 출발하기 전에 할머니는 순찰차에서 콜린과 대화를 하였습니다.
Got to get your anger under control, okay? I'm saying prayers for you all the time, Colin. I love you.
Mama, I think my anger's fine. It's just that when someone attacks me, I don't know.
What? I can't hear you. What?
No.
Do you think your anger's fine?
Yes, it's just when someone attacks me, that's how I act.
That didn't happen, though. I was there. I saw it. I saw you stand up. And I said, sit down, and you wouldn't. And you went after the phone. And the next thing I know, she's on the floor. And I'm trying to get in between Raw, and I'm trying to call Rennis.
No. She hit me. She grabbed onto me. I beat her, and then I got her to the ground, and then wrestling me, and then I ran.
I didn't see that, Colin. I really didn't. All I saw was you on the ground, or her on the ground, and you by her. And you guys fighting for the phone. So how did she get on the ground?
Just because I moved her on the ground. I wrestled her on the ground, and she grabbed onto me.
Why did you stand up? And why did you say?
So we're just trying to have a face-to-face conversation.
No, you didn't. You stood up and said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Yes, you did. I was there.
I was saying, Mom, I'm not a psychopath. I'm not this murderer. I'm just trying to peacefully leave or peacefully coexist and just figure something out. And she kept telling me to shut up and shut up. And when I wouldn't shut up, she hit me.
No, that's not what happened, Colin. That's not what happened. You never said you wanted to peacefully coexist.
I've been saying that.
You said that in the car, but not there with her.
여기서 콜린의 외할머니는 콜린이 말하는 게 실제로 이러는 일이 아니라고 합니다. 게다가 자신이 살인자나 사이코패스가 아니라고 말하죠. 그리고 다음날 콜린이 구금에서 풀려난 후 경찰은 다시 콜린과 그의 어머니를 만나기 위해 집으로 향했습니다.
Yes, sir.
So what's going on, man?
Last night me and my mom went to a physical altercation. I got arrested for domestic battery, but going in front of a judge today, I have a right to a public defender, and we'll see how that goes.
Okay. So how is the situation with you and mom right now?
Have
things calmed down? Are you guys able to
sir,
get along? Where are we at?
No, sir. It's not good. She thinks that I beat the shit out of her. I don't. She thinks that I'm like psychotic, like literally psychopath, sociopath, something like that. I don't know exactly where she's at. She thinks I'm gonna kill her. I want to kill her, or that I want to beat the shit out of her.
Do you?
No, sir.
Okay.
이 영상에서 콜린이 하고 있는 말을 보자면 엄마가 자신을 먼저 공격했다고 말합니다.
I don't want to hurt anyone, let alone my mom, even despite this happening, but I'm not gonna take what I consider abuse when someone's attacking me. And
how is she attacking you? What
when
kind of abuse are we talking?
when she attacked me, when she threw a punch at me and grabbed on me, I grabbed on her back. I got her off of me. She hit the ground, and then I fled and called Rentis, and then he sent someone out.
You called who?
Rentis, Detective Rentis.
Okay.
그 다음 경찰은 콜린이 구금되어 있을 때 한 발언에 대해 질문합니다.
Did you make any statements saying that you were going to kill your mom if you got in the car with her?
No, I'm trying to figure out why we would have a corporal at the jail that took you out, that dropped you off with your mom and telling us that you said, don't put me in the car with her, I'm going to kill her.
Yeah,
was that said?
I did not say I was going to kill her. I did not say kill. I don't know why he sent me back here. I asked him not to, but he said he didn't like my attitude and that I had to just walk by, and he sent me back here. But his words, not mine.
Okay. Well, we're just trying to figure out, we just want to make sure we do everything we can to prevent anything happening.
Sir, given the situation, I don't think that we should be in the same house at all. I don't think it's okay. I mean, we're going to court anyways at 1. God knows what's going to happen then.
How are you getting to court?
By car.
You drive? How old are you?
Yeah, but I have to have an adult in the car with me.
You got a learner's permit?
Yeah. She's been trying to lure a confession out of me all day. It's been, well, it's not, sorry, not all day, but.
여기서 말하는 자백은 가정폭력 사건으로 법원에 가서 재판을 받을 때 콜린이 아무런 이유 없이 먼저 때린 게 맞다는 걸 인정하려는 자백이었습니다. 하지만 콜린은 계속해서 억울해하고 있었습니다. 그 이유는 엄마가 과거에 총까지 겨눈 적이 있을 정도로 심각한 학대를 해서라고 말이죠.
So what does this all start over? Has this been ongoing forever, or is this all of a sudden happened last night?
For a long time. So I came to live with her after my dad died, and since then there's just been kind of times when things boil over with her, and she acts out. One time she pulled a gun on me. I called the cops. I guess I wouldn't believe.
Well, what got her to the point that she's doing these things?
I don't know.
You have no idea. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, she pulls a gun or hit you?
It's because that I'm driving her crazy somehow with the way that I act, and I don't know how I'm acting badly. She talks about school a lot. My grades are fine. I got a 3.7 GPA.
I mean, obviously you're not, you're smart enough kid. I get that or whatever, but I mean, obviously it takes two to create this type of environment in this situation, right? I've heard nothing. You haven't said a word about what's going on, what you're doing, or what is going on to provoke this, or where it's coming from, other than out of the blue, your mom flies off the handle and does this stuff. I'm struggling with that a little bit.
She claims that because I don't help around the house, don't seem to follow rules. A big thing for her is that I don't make a schedule. I don't schedule my day. She has ADHD and a lot of other stuff. She was really abused by my dad, from what I know, and that kind of just made it to where she has these very specific things that set her off, these triggers.
시작하면서 제가 이 모자를 소개할 때 아버지가 없다는 걸 간접적으로 말씀드린 걸 기억하실 겁니다. 사실 아버지인 찰스 그리피스는 콜린에게 살해당했었습니다. 그날은 2023년 2월달이었죠. 경관들은 아버지를 총으로 살해했던 콜린을 곱게 볼 수가 없었습니다.
So how long ago was your dad back? I'm sorry to hear that. 7 months.
Yeah. He attacked me, my dad, and when he did, he tried to kill me with a knife, and it was in Oklahoma, and he died. So,
how was that?
I shot him when he tried to kill me.
Did you already have a gun in your hand? Or did you go
I
get
was
one?
fleeing, and the house was filled with guns, 23 to be exact, and
you knew who they were?
I didn't seek one out, I was just trying to run, but when I was cornered and I had nothing else, there was a gun. Just kind of what happened.
Why was he trying to kill you?
He's also a bit of a case, but homophobia. A bit of other stuff.
Okay.
경관들은 콜린을 다시 집에서 내보내기로 결정합니다. 아무래도 그러한 과거가 이러한 결정에 큰 영향을 준 것이었죠. 그래서 수갑을 채우고 순찰차로 데려갔습니다. 그런 다음 어머니인 캐서린이 순찰차로 다가와 대화를 나누기 시작합니다.
Did you tell them at the jail that you were going to kill me? Did you say you were going to hurt me? Okay. I heard you say you were worried what was going to happen.
Ma'am. Yes, they have to go.
콜린은 이후 정신과 치료를 받기 위해 정신병원으로 향했습니다. 그리고 법원과 정신과 전문의들의 결정에 따라 치료가 진행되도록 강제로 입원되었습니다. 본인이 필요로 하지 않더라도 정부나 전문가가 판단했을 때 치료를 받을 필요성이 보인다면 강제로 입원시키는 법이 있는데 그것을 베이커 법이라고 합니다. 그리고 이렇게 정신과 치료를 받고 집으로 돌아온 콜린은 2024년에 업로드한 SNS에서 보이는 것처럼 엄마와 행복한 생활을 다시 시작한 것처럼 보였습니다. 하지만 2024년 9월 8일 캐서린은 자신의 어머니, 즉 콜린의 외할머니의 집에서 살해를 당합니다.
Mom drives up here to Auburndale from Charlotte County. She arrives at 4 o'clock. At about 4:30, witnesses and neighbors see Colin and Mom arguing outside, and Colin grabs his mother by the hair and drags her into the house. Just about 2 hours later, that's when we receive a 911 call where Colin said, I've had a very, very long fight with Mom, and she fell on a knife and she's bleeding from the neck. When you look at this, you see a kid. When I look at him, I see a psychopath.
여기서 콜린이 했던 911 신고 녹음은 재판 중에 공개되었습니다. 이때가 재판 중에 공개되는 모습을 함께 보도록 하죠. 이렇게 현장에서 곧바로 체포된 콜린은 얼마 지나지 않아서 17세의 나이로 어머니인 캐서린을 살해한 혐의로 기소되었습니다. 이건 콜린이 아버지를 총으로 쏴 죽인 지 18개월도 채 지나지 않았을 때 일어난 일로서 거의 사이코패스 연쇄살인범이나 할 법한 짓으로서 지역사회에 큰 충격을 주었습니다.
It was a Sunday evening, September 8th of last year, in Auburndale, Florida. And it was at that time that the defendant viciously and savagely unleashed his full fury and hatred towards his mother upon her, when he stabbed her with such force that the knife went shooting through her neck muscles, through her esophagus, through her trachea, through her thyroid cartilage, and shot out the other side of her neck. You will hear and see that as this happened, she began to bleed, and bleed profusely through the huge gash in her neck. While she bled, the defendant was there and watched as the blood came out of the huge hole in her neck. You're going to hear that he was there as he watched the blood and the life drain from her body until she took her final breath and was officially dead. You're also going to hear that this was exactly what the defendant meant to do, and that this is exactly what the defendant had thought about doing and had wanted to do for quite some time.
이제 검사는 배심원들에게 이게 사고가 아니었고 우발적인 게 아니었다고 말합니다.
He told multiple people, including multiple Charlotte County Sheriff's Office deputies and his own grandfather, the father of the defendant's mother, Kathy Griffith. His name's Robert Willantis. The defendant told him something that was super, super disturbing, to say the least. You will hear from Robert Willantis that the defendant said to him that he wanted to kill his mom and how he was going to do it. And the defendant said, more than anything else, I want to slit her throat and feel her bleed out and feel the life leave her body. That's how much I hate her. You're going to hear that Mr. Willantis, needless to say, was absolutely shocked. And he told his grandson, that's sick, that's twisted, you can't do that.
아까 말씀드린 것처럼 콜린은 자신의 아버지를 죽였었습니다. 총으로 가슴에 한 발, 머리에 한 발을 쏴서 목숨을 앗아갔었죠. 하지만 당시 콜린의 살인 혐의 기소를 진행하던 검찰은 대배심에서 기소 거부 결정이 떨어져서 그대로 혐의 없음으로 종결시켰었습니다. 대배심에서는 콜린의 살인 행위를 정당방위로 판단하였던 것이었죠. 그래서 이번 콜린의 살인 기소를 담당한 검찰에선 과거에 그러한 실패를 반복시키지 않으려 확실하게 준비하였습니다.
The mom, as any mom would, greatly missed her son. And she didn't get an opportunity for different reasons, including a very controlling dad that the defendant was living with. So Kathy Griffith basically didn't have much contact with her son, not because she didn't want to, but she would try to call him and talk to him, and it pained her greatly that her son was not with her. So Kathy, the defendant's mom, tried to make up for lost time. And she took her son on multiple vacations. They took cruises. They went to Disney World. They traveled out of the country. They went to Washington, D.C. And she spent all her time and affection and money on the defendant. That was her son. And that's who she had missed for all those years. Now, was Kathy Griffith the perfect parent? No. Was she the perfect person? No. But nobody is. But you're going to hear that she gave everything that she had, including her life, to try to take care of the defendant and spend as much time as she could with him, even at the cost of her life.
검찰은 캐서린의 이러한 노력에도 불구하고 문제가 꽤 빨리 생겨났고 경찰이 둘 사이에 개입했다는 것을 강조하였습니다. 그리고 피고 측 변호사는 콜린이 몇 차례나 비자발적인 정신과 입원을 한 적은 있지만 실제로 문제가 있었던 건 캐서린이었지 콜린이 아니었다고 주장합니다.
You're going to hear that Kathy not only wanted to cause harm to her own self, but Kathy has threatened or done harm to other people. You'll hear some of those details about some of the things that she actually did to another person in front of Colin, involving weapons. You will hear that she has threatened to kill different people at different times and actually taken steps towards completing that wish. You also hear that Kathy is not exactly reliable in what she says. You'll hear this from her own mother.
피고 측에선 캐서린이 살해된 집의 주인이자 캐서린의 어머니, 즉 콜린의 외할머니인 수잔을 통해 자신들의 주장을 증명하겠다고 밝혔습니다.
Susan was the constant. She will tell you about Kathy's personality. She'll tell you about her mental health problems. She'll tell you about Kathy's drinking and misuse of pills. She will tell you about Kathy's threats to commit suicide over the years, but not just threats. She will also tell you about the several attempts Kathy made on her own life. Beyond that, you're going to hear that Kathy not only wanted to cause harm to her own self, but Kathy has threatened or done harm to other people.
피고 측 변호사는 콜린이 불안정한 어머니의 공격으로부터 방어한 것일 뿐이라고 주장합니다.
And by the way, Colin has wounds too. Is whether the state has proved to you beyond a reasonable doubt that what they claim happened, that Colin somehow planned this, he's been plotting it for months, that he murdered and dragged his mom into the house that she went to where he was safe to kill her, or whether what Colin had been saying he was afraid would happen and that had happened in the past actually was what occurred. That his mom came to him, went into the house where he was safe, and attacked him, and he had to defend himself. And that he is not guilty of the murder or the kidnapping of his mother.
범죄 현장 조사관은 현장과 캐서린의 목 상처를 기록하기 위해 어떤 걸 했는지 증언했습니다.
Tell the jury about why do you put a ruler up next to the neck wound?
It shows length and width of the injuries on the victim's body.
And is that wound basically wide open?
Yes.
그런 다음 콜린의 외할머니의 이웃들은 캐서린이 콜린을 데려가기 위해 그날 집에 도착했을 때 목격한 것에 대해 증언합니다.
When she and the defendant were talking, did it look like it was an animated or a heated conversation?
Arguing from one side. I didn't see him say anything. I just heard her.
Okay. And you kind of did a hand motion. Was she trying to hit him or trying to punch him or anything?
She was waving her hands like this.
Okay.
And then she said, "Let go of my hair. You're hurting me."
And when you say waving your hands like that, is that like as
she was talking
to him?
Same
okay.
way she was talking on the other side of the car.
Okay, I got you. When the defendant grabbed her hair, what did she say?
She said, "Let go of my hair. You're hurting me."
And were you inside or outside?
I was inside in my living room.
So it must have been loud enough, obviously, for you to be able to hear that.
Yes.
And what did the defendant do to her next?
Then he just reached and got hold to her, and he opened the door and pulled her in.
Was that the last you ever saw of her?
That's the last I saw.
다른 이웃인 낸시 존스는 캐서린이 어머니의 집에 도착했을 때의 모습을 묘사했습니다.
The lady, I was a young girl, got out of the car, slammed the door, slung her purse over her shoulder, and proceeded into the house.
Had you ever seen the young lady before?
Not personally one-on-one, but I've seen the car over there. I thought it was granddaughter. She looked very young.
And where did you say the young lady went?
She immediately went into the house.
이웃인 낸시는 캐서린이 매우 작았기 때문에 손녀라고 생각할 정도였다고 증언합니다. 그리고 이어서 세부 사항에 대해 말을 꺼냅니다.
Do you want me to go into the details now?
Yes.
I seen the lady standing on the top step, and I just seen an arm come out and grab her by the shoulder, by her hair, and I just turned my head and immediately went back into the house.
피고 측 변호사는 경찰과 구급대원이 도착한 후 보인 콜린의 반응에 대해 질문합니다.
From your perspective, did he look upset?
He looked very emotional, yes. He'd been crying. I could see him crying in the driveway.
So you could tell his face was red, or
oh yeah, he was an emotional wreck. But I didn't know. Still, I did not know what happened.
그런 다음 검찰은 콜린이 9.11에 신고한 녹음 테이프를 법정에서 재생시키길 원했습니다. 그러자 콜린은 이걸 듣고 싶지 않다며 재생되는 동안 밖에 나가 있길 요청했습니다.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Griffith has elected to waive his presence in the courtroom during the publication of States 165. Mr. Griffith.
콜린이 법정을 나간 뒤 배심원단은 그 녹음을 들었습니다.
911, what's the address of the emergency? Hampton in Florida. I don't know the I don't know the street address. My mom is talking to you again right now. She's bleeding out. Please help. Your mom is doing what? My mom is bleeding out. She's bleeding out.
이건 9.11 신고 녹음 중 가장 처음 부분이었습니다. 이후 9.11 교환원은 콜린이 어머니를 구할 수 있도록 도우려 합니다.
I need to get her to the hospital with someone. Okay, you called 911, so we're going to send an ambulance. She doesn't have time. She's leaving it. She's failed. She doesn't have time. She needs to go now. Okay, and I'm using the address I see you at. Is that right? Is that where you are? Yes, ma'am. Okay. What can I do? I have your price after she's talking about us. Help is being sent. Stay on the line so I can get more information for the responders. being sent, okay? Medical help is being sent. She's bleeding out. Where is she bleeding from, sir? She's bleeding from the neck, ma'am. This is my mother. Are you with the patient now? I'm with her now. How old is the patient? She's 39 years old. She has a heart condition. She has a. Is she awake? No, she's unconscious. She's not responsible. Okay. Is she breathing? No, she's not. I don't think she's alive. Okay, where is it? And you said neck. Okay. All right, listen to me. I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
콜린은 911 교환원에게 심장질환이 있고 39세라고 말했습니다. 그리고 숨을 쉬지 않고 목에서 피를 흘리고 있다고 했죠. 그래서 교환원은 일단 CPR을 위한 정확한 지침을 제공해 줍니다. 엄마가 칼 위로 쓰러졌다고 주장하는 콜린. 칼이 어떻게 있었길래 칼 위로 쓰러졌는데 목에 찔릴 수 있었을까요? 약간 의아합니다.
I don't have it. I'll find it across the floor. Where is the knife? I just put it across the floor with you. And his bleeding controlled. He stopped bleeding. No more blood coming out.
그리고 통화 후반부에 콜린은 교환원에게 엄마를 구하려 노력하고 있다고 설명합니다.
There's no more blood coming out of the wound. He's lost it all. Okay, listen, okay? We're gonna do this, okay?
교환원의 노력에도 불구하고 너무 늦은 것처럼 보였습니다. 캐서린은 구급대가 도착하기도 전에 과다출혈로 사망하였죠. 그래서 당시 현장에 도착한 경찰이 나와서 증언을 시작합니다.
When you saw the defendant, describe his demeanor.
At first, he was in a somewhat manic state, but again, once he went outside, he was more calm and collected.
What happened when he was outside then?
Outside, he spontaneously uttered to me and Deputy Sheriff Pibernick that there was blood everywhere, and then it stopped bleeding, and then she was dead.
알렉산더 워커 경관은 콜린이 순찰차 뒷좌석에 앉아있을 때의 모습에 대해 증언합니다.
Did he seem to have any concern or worry?
No.
Did he speak about anything to you?
Nothing genuinely. We were talking about, or I tried to spark up just normal conversation, ask him what video games he played.
And did he respond and talk about video games?
Yeah, he said he enjoyed strategic games.
Did his demeanor change at all when you interacted with him?
Little. It seemed more cheerful at the time, but still calm.
구급대원도 당시 캐서린이 입은 부상에 대해 자세하게 진술합니다.
Now, what can you tell the jury about what you saw pertaining to the stab wound?
The stab wound itself did not seem to be very wide. It was kind of narrow in size. Upon further inspection after starting the CPR, it was obvious that every time I did a compression, there was air that was coming through the wound itself. So it was obviously pretty deep. It looked like a lot of the vasculature and the stuff inside of the wound itself was very obvious and could be seen. And that they had cut major areas such as the arteries.
Okay. What was the terminology you used? The vascular?
Vasculature, yes, sir.
What does that mean?
Meaning the tissue and stuff surrounding.
So the inside of her neck was apparent. You could actually see what was inside?
Yes, sir.
검사는 이어서 제임스 파커 경감에게 콜린의 모습에 대해 물었습니다.
From my personal experience, it was a little odd in nature. He didn't seem very distraught or upset. He seemed kind of calm upon my entering the residence. And then upon exiting the residence, he seemed to almost have a, not a full argument, but somewhat argumentative with the deputies that were trying to assist him out of the residence.
Now, during the 11 years when you've interacted with different people at a scene similar to this, I mean, is there any one way to act, or do you see it all?
No, it's different for each person.
Okay. Was the way that you described the defendant's demeanor, did that stand out? Did that stand out compared to the other scenes you've been to?
Yeah, that's not. I mean, like I said, I've seen several, and to be distraught, to be upset, or to be in tears or even hysterical is pretty common.
하지만 피고 측 변호사는 제임스 파커 경감이 콜린을 잘 알지 못한다는 점을 빠르게 지적합니다.
You did say that there is no one right way for somebody to act after they've been through either a fight or a traumatic experience, right?
I did say that.
So you cannot say what was going on inside of Colin's mind or heart when you saw him, can you?
No, ma'am, I didn't say what was going on inside of him.
And you have no idea what he's been through in his life and what coping mechanisms he has devised or that he has had to come up with to survive those things, do you?
No, ma'am, I've never met him before this.
Okay. And you have no idea what happened in that kitchen before you arrived, do you?
No, ma'am, I cannot speculate as to that.
이렇게 양측에서는 콜린이 우발적으로 이 범행을 저지른 것인지 계획적으로 한 것인지를 놓고 치밀하게 대립하였습니다. 여기까지 본다면 많은 사람들은 정신 상태가 정상이 아닌 콜린이 악의적인 마음으로 엄마를 죽인 게 맞다고 생각하실 겁니다. 게다가 수개월 전에는 아빠까지도 총으로 살해하였으니까요. 그래서 피고 측에선 이 모든 상황을 뒤집어버릴 수 있는 증거 하나를 법정에서 공개합니다.
I will not take a call from you after this ever again. If Colin's not here by 10 o'clock, I'm dead to you. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Do you understand me? Yes or no? I need a yes or no. Yes or no? Do you understand me? Okay. You don't understand me.
피고 측 변호사는 캐서린의 목소리가 녹음된 초인종 CCTV 영상을 공개하였습니다. 캐서린의 집에 설치된 것이었고 시점으로 본다면 그녀가 살해되는 그 당일에 녹음된 것입니다. 실제로 살해된 곳은 콜린이 있던 어머니의 집이었기 때문에 그곳으로 떠나기 직전까지 녹화되었다고 보시면 되겠군요. 이 영상의 음성을 듣기 전에 한번 정리를 하고 가겠습니다. 먼저 캐서린은 집에서 콜린과 심하게 다투었습니다. 자기 말을 제대로 안 듣는다는 이유로 차량과 휴대폰을 빼앗겠다고, 그 외에도 돈이 될 만한 것들은 그 어떤 것도 주지 않겠다고 했습니다. 그로 인해 화가 난 콜린은 집을 나가버렸죠. 이건 평소에도 콜린이 악화된 상황을 피하던 방식이었기에 크게 이상한 것은 아니었습니다. 하지만 캐서린은 이것을 놓고 곱게 보지 않았고 병적으로 콜린을 압박하려 했습니다. 이런 캐서린의 모습은 아마 과거에 남편에게 학대당하던 시절에 생겨난 정신병적 집착이었을 것으로 보입니다. 그렇지만 콜린은 전화도 받지 않고 오전 10시까지 집으로 돌아오지 않았죠. 그래서 캐서린은 경찰에 실종 신고를 하였고 경찰이 집으로 찾아와서 대화를 나누기도 했습니다. 그 당시엔 캐서린의 어머니이자 콜린의 외할머니인 수잔도 함께 자리하였었습니다. 하지만 수잔도 콜린이 어디로 간 건지 전혀 모르겠다고만 하였죠. 그렇지만 이후 캐서린은 AT&T 전화국으로 연락하여 콜린의 통화 내역을 뽑아봤고 거기서 자신의 어머니인 수잔과 계속 통화한 사실을 알게 됩니다. 그래서 틀림없이 그 집으로 갔다고 생각한 캐서린은 어머니에게 전화를 걸게 됩니다. 그런데 수잔은 콜린이 집에 오지 않았다고 계속해서 시침을 뗐고 그래서 캐서린은 전화국에서 받은 통화 이력을 문자로 보내줬습니다. 그러자 수잔은 자신이 지금 다른 지역에 볼 일이 있어서 온 상태라서 콜린이 자신의 집에 오는 건 불가능하다고 하였습니다. 결국 콜린을 감싸고 있다고 판단한 캐서린은 전화를 끊고 콜린이 다니던 알바 가게에 전화하였습니다. 그리고 그곳을 그만두고 출근하지 않았다는 사실을 알게 되었죠. 그래서 캐서린은 곧바로 어머니의 집에 콜린이 있다는 것을 확신하고 거기로 향했습니다. 그리고 이웃 사람들이 목격한 것처럼 그런 일이 터진 것이었죠. 참고로 이 CCTV 영상은 배심원단에게만 공개되었고 대중에게 공개된 부분은 오직 음성뿐이었습니다. 그럼 먼저 어머니와 통화로 다투던 캐서린의 음성부터 들어보겠습니다.
Look at the pictures. Okay, it doesn't matter. You were knowing with me, and you lied to me while they were here. I said, do you have him? You said no, and I don't know where he is. You said that to me. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you still don't have eyes on him. He's talked to you. No, he's already talked to you because I can see where you guys have been talking. So if he's not here by 10 o'clock, I'm sending the cops. Oh, it is. It is. We're all losing our jobs, and he's losing everything. That's why I signed the car for myself. I need the money. So I'm taking the car. I'm taking everything. So I'm about to go up there and go and get the car because the car is mine. I have it in my name. The mobile notary came. I don't have to send you copies. I already sent you the title. I already sent you a picture of the title, and you already saw what it looked like. So I'm not going to sit here. Okay, then you need to go back through the pictures because you also said you don't have the pink picture that shows. You also said that you don't show the call records and that you believe Colin, even though he's there at your house. So you're illegally the law. Tell him for house and then he has to go back home. Is that correct? No, I'm asking you a specific question. Have you told him he needs to go back to this house? No. Did you tell him he needs to be back home to this house by 10 a.m.? And he needs to vacate your house and he does not have permission to be at your home? No.
That's what I told him.
Okay. Okay, and that's not what he did. He called me and he said, I told you I was going to if you didn't do this. No, that's not what I said. His phone is still on right now. His service is working. He's not going to answer. He's not going to answer. I showed you. Oh, stop. Will you listen to me? Do you see the call log? He did not try to call Monique at all yesterday. He is lying to you. I sent you his entire call log. That's from AT&T. That's not from his iCloud account. That's from AT&T. That's not what the court order said. It said he specifically has to leave a voicemail. But it doesn't matter because if he doesn't, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, I have held everybody off. I said it's a private family matter. I'm sure he'll be back home. And everybody said, we'll give him 24 hours. That is until 10 o'clock today, Mom. That's why I said he had until 10 a.m. today. Mom, it doesn't matter. They gave me until 10 a.m. The police.
이어서 캐서린이 알바 가게에 전화하여 콜린이 출근한 건지 확인하는 통화를 합니다.
Hi, this is Catherine Griffith. I'm actually calling Griffith's mom. I was just calling to confirm. Did Colin quit yesterday? Colin Griffith, yeah. When he called in, I know he didn't show up to work yesterday. Did he quit yesterday as well? I just need to know. Is it okay to find out for me? This is his mom. Because he hasn't come home. So we're trying to find him. Yeah. Colin is missing and hasn't been home in almost 24 hours. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
캐서린이 어머니한테 하는 말투만 보더라도 평소에 콜린을 어떻게 대한 건지 예측할 수 있을 겁니다. 아마 콜린이 가출을 했을 때 찾지 않고 집으로 돌아올 때까지 잠자코 기다렸다면 이런 일이 일어나지 않았을 수도 있겠다는 생각이 들긴 하지만 칼로 죽인 결과물을 놓고 봤을 땐 아무래도 콜린의 잘못이 크지 않을까 하는 생각이 듭니다. 그리고 2025년 2월 4일 배심원단은 이 결과를 놓고 배심원실에 모여서 자그마치 11시간 넘게 평의를 진행하였습니다. 이 말인즉슨 배심원들도 정서적 학대로 인한 정당방위가 맞느냐, 계획적인 살인이냐로 고심하고 있다는 뜻이었죠. 그리고 다음날 오후가 되어서야 배심원단은 편결을 갖고 법정으로 돌아왔습니다. 다시 말씀드리지만 콜린은 1급 살인 혐의와 납치 혐의로 기소된 상태입니다.
Will the jury find as follows? As to the defendant in this case, the defendant, as to count 1, the defendant is not guilty. As to count 2, the defendant is not guilty. So say will this 5th day of February 2025.
수많은 사람들의 예상에서 벗어나 콜린은 무죄를 선고받았습니다. 그리고 콜린의 얼굴에는 웃음꽃이 피었죠. 이 웃음의 의미는 무엇을 의미하는 것일까요? 더 이상 병적인 잔소리를 하는 어머니를 보지 않을 수 있기 때문에? 아니면 목구멍에서 피를 쏟아내며 목숨을 잃어가는 모습을 보고도 그에 대한 죗값을 치르지 않아도 된다는 안도감 때문에? 그것도 아니라면 아버지를 살해했을 때도 무죄, 어머니까지 살해했을 때도 무죄를 받은 뿌듯함이었을까요? 그건 아마 콜린 본인만이 알고 있을 겁니다. 그리고 이제 콜린은 외할머니인 수잔의 보호 아래서 새 삶을 시작하게 되었습니다. 이후 콜린이 어떻게 살아갈지는 아무도 모르지만 이 사건으로 정신건강 문제로 인한 가정폭력, 청소년 범죄에 대해 사법 시스템의 접근 방식에 중요한 질문들을 남긴 것 같습니다. 그래서 이 사건을 판례로 친족을 향한 청소년 범죄가 늘어나진 않을까 하는 우려를 표하며 오늘 이야기는 여기서 마치겠습니다. 오늘도 이곳까지 함께 해주신 여러분께 정말 감사드립니다. 저는 톰슨이었고 항상 그렇듯 다음에 만날 때까지 모두 건강하고 안전한 날 되셨으면 좋겠네요.
George K. 5 George K. 496 Broadway, Mitchell, Williams,